people, how are you all doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I just thought I'd hop on and make a very casual, informal video just about the tarot, what it means to me, and just answering some of your questions that I get most often about the tarot that maybe will be able to help you on your own tarot or intuitive journey. All right, so yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, so I'm really looking forward to doing it. I'm not sure if anyone will even see it, but I just thought I'd put it on the channel, and if anybody wants to know any more, then there'll be some more information on there. Okay. The question I get asked the most is, why is it so accurate, right? Why is their tarot reading so accurate? It's just like, you know, it's blown my mind, it's completely on the money. You know, they can't quite handle it. Why is it so accurate? When you get a really accurate general reading, right, that's for the collective, it means that you are in right alignment. Remember, you chose the video, right? And you made the selection out of the pick a card. So it is all you. So when people say to me, you're so amazing, you're so intuitive, you know, I'm connecting to the energy of the collective, right? So the way that it works for me, and if you want to resonate with this differently, this is absolutely, you know, fine. But the way that it works for me is that I go in it with, you know, high vibration, with good intention, that the messages that I am sharing reach the people who they are meant to reach. That is my intention. Intention is very powerful. When it comes to manifestation, it's very powerful, you know, in terms of being in right alignment. So I set that strong intention to connect with the people who need the message, okay? And that's my part of it. And then your part is to come into right alignment with what it is that you need to nourish you, or the information that you need to go forward, or to make a decision, or to give you clarity, or whatever it is. But it is all you. All right, if you resonate with something, it is you. You have chosen the video and you have made the card selection, right? But on the flip side of that, if you don't resonate with something, then it is also you. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're wrong. It just means, you know, there's this energy of like always trying to get back into right alignment. Like, I just have a sense in my own life now of when I'm in right alignment and when I'm not. When you're in right alignment, things flow really smoothly, you get serendipitous moments, you're in the right place at the right time, you have that beautiful sense of well-being within you. You find, it doesn't mean you don't have problems, but you find solutions to things. Sometimes things work out in quite a miraculous way. That is being in right alignment. When you get a good tarot reading, you're in right alignment. It means you're in right alignment with my energy, right? So there is no time and space. There is no, you know, it's just an illusion. Time is just an illusion for us. So, you know, I am there with you. My energy is there with you, and you are connecting directly to my energy, and it means that we are in alignment. I am right for you and you are right for me, and that's when we come together. You know, there's plenty of people out there who you know, I'm not for them, and that is absolutely fine. That's the nature of things. So yes, if you make a good selection, you know, if you make a selection that feels really positive and that really rings true for you, it just means that you're in right alignment. And if you make one that doesn't resonate with you, it often means you've been guided to the video for a reason. Like, if you're like, this is really resonating with me, then perhaps you've picked the wrong group, because sometimes we get in our own way, don't we? We're just like, our intuition says one thing and then our mind says something else, and we get in our own way. So there is that energy of maybe you've been guided to the video, but you've kind of made the wrong selection a little bit for you, and that the message that you need is still in that video, but maybe you need to drop back into your intuition to make the selection which is right for you. Could just be that you've chosen someone who isn't the right reader for you. That happens to me all the time. I'm just not resonating with this person. You know, their style, their energy is not in frequency with mine, either just generally or at this time today. You know, I pick lots of readings and I'm just like, oh, you know, you know, this isn't my story, this isn't what is resonating. But sometimes there can be one single message, right, which stands out. So you're just like, I remember hearing a reading and I'm just like, this isn't my story, this isn't my story. And I was going to click off, and then suddenly the reader said something which just was like an arrow. It was so strong, it was so powerful. She actually said the name of the person that I was having the issue with, and she said, wow, I don't even know where that came from. I was like, okay, now I'm listening. All right, so there is that element of, when it's a general reading, maybe not all of it is for you, but what you need, what spirit needs to bring you, the message that you need, will be delivered to you. So, you know, always bear that in mind. This is how I resonate with online readings. You may resonate differently, you may take them differently, but you know, that's my intention. That's how I kind of run my channel, the angle that I'm coming from. So yeah, if you're in resonance, then you will get a good reading. I wanted to talk a little bit about what tarot means to me. So a lot of people see it as like an oracle, like tell me what's going to happen, I want to know what's happening in the future. But when I had my spiritual awakening, I really resonated with the tarot as therapy, okay, and as medicine, really. So this concept of tarot as medicine. So you may have heard of food as medicine, right? We always used to think of medicine as being pharmaceutical drugs and something you went to from the doctors. And now there is this broadening, you know, as we enter the new earth, of our understanding of what is medicine for us. You know, what can bring us back into alignment, what can bring balance to us in our lives, in our mental health, in our spiritual health, in our physical health, yeah? So I was introduced to the concept of tarot as medicine. So I like to think of readings, and this is how I approach my readings and how I approach interacting with other people's readings, either on YouTube or when I'm connecting with someone and they're connecting with my energy directly, right? As this opportunity for medicine, you know, for me to be able to take those messages and you know, grow from that, use it as an opportunity to you know, as a tool of reflection, as a tool to access deeper parts of my subconscious mind, you know, things that are buried that may not have come to the surface. I find it so powerful for that. So that is my approach to tarot. Lots of people have said, you know, your readings are like therapy to me. I find that really gratifying. It's really good. I want my readings to be nourishing, and ultimately I want them to be an opportunity for people to reflect, not about being an oracle or predicting the future. It's about like, what are the energies surrounding this? And if you keep on this path, if you keep doing what you're doing, what's going to happen? And if you keep on, you know, because if we keep on doing what we're doing, we keep on getting what we're getting, right? So yeah, that is the sort of, that's my angle on the channel. That's where I come from with it, and that is how I resonate with the tarot. I read the tarot in a very organic way. You know, I use it, people are just like, you know, what are you doing? What spread are you using? You know, what does it all mean? I just get the cards out. I kind of see a storyline, but as I go along, I use the cards as a jumping off point, right, for my own intuition, and then I let the messages come through. So people sometimes say to me, oh, that card doesn't mean this or that, or you've got this wrong, or those two cards together mean this. I'm just using my intuition, you know, I'm getting the messages from spirit, I'm channeling the messages, I'm getting visions, I'm hearing specific things. But the tarot is just that that starting off place for me. It's the sort of the blueprint, if you like, and then everything else in my reading is built on top of that. Lots of people want to know why I don't pick the cards on camera and what my process is for picking the cards. So the main reason why I don't pick the cards on camera is I feel like it's too time consuming and messy. You know, often I use many decks, maybe 7 different decks to do a reading, and all of that time of picking the cards is time that I could spend giving the messages, right? So I felt from the beginning that it was better for me to pick the cards in my own time rather than on your time, and then I can spend more of our time together you know, tuning into the messages in those cards and giving those messages to you. So I can spend that full 15 or 20 minutes just talking to you. And I always find, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I do have a lot to say. You know, I do get a lot of messages. I do feel like I give good value for money, bearing in mind that money is free. You know, this is free content, right? So I feel like I give good value for money, and I just want to spend that time giving the messages. I don't want to spend that time doing a lot of picking and shuffling when I could have got all that done on my own time and not on your time. And then, you know, I've got twice as long to be able to talk to you about what it is that you need to know and to kind of share those messages from spirit. So you know, you may get a 15-minute reading from a reader, but they'll spend like, you know, 5 minutes of that, if not more, shuffling cards. So sometimes where they're not talking, whereas, you know, I'm sharing all the time. So that's why. So my process, I quite often pick the cards the night before. I just really resonate with that sort of, I have a little bit of quiet time to myself in the evening away from my chaotic home life, where I can go in and I can do my meditation, which is for me. I can set the intention, which is to connect to the people who need the messages. And I can just be in a room on my own and have that quiet time, light a candle, light some incense, and just pick the cards and just see, you know, which decks resonate with me. And you know, I don't see the cards. Occasionally one will jump out and I will have seen it, but it doesn't make any difference to me. You know, I've got no idea what the rest of the cards are in the reading. So that's just how I like to do it. And also, you know, I get a little bit nervous on camera. Yeah, I am an introvert. I am an INFJ, the Myers-Briggs personality type, and you know, it feels unnatural for me to be on camera. It isn't my favorite thing in the world to do that. You know, I appreciate you all so much, and I appreciate this platform, and it is very beautiful, and it's something that I'm getting used to, but it isn't something that comes naturally to me. You know, I do get flustered, I do get in a muddle. So it's just a way of keeping things simpler for me. I know I get some shade for it, for not picking the cards on camera, but it feels more sort of elegant in its simplicity. It's what I resonate with, and it's just how I work, and it's just what feels best for me, you know? So yeah, that is my process. A lot of people ask me what my favorite decks are. So my favorite tarot deck of all time is the Fountain Tarot. I don't know if you can see that's beautiful box. Cards look like this. They've got such beautiful imagery on them, and all of the images were painted by an artist in oil paint. So like, you know, large canvases of oil paintings that they've used to create this deck. So this is the back of them. This is the front. So the tarot, the Fountain Tarot is the one that I resonate with the most, that I use for my own personal readings. I tend to use one of the Rider-Waite decks for my readings here on YouTube, just because they're familiar to so many people, and people, you know, like to connect with the cards, and, you know, they have their own relationship with the cards. So I like to use a deck which is familiar to other people who are maybe studying or have their own connection to the tarot, so that, you know, rather than using a tarot deck that they're not familiar with. Oracle decks, my favorite deck is the Wild Offering Oracle deck. It is it's got beautiful images on it. It's really stylish, it's really modern. There's a lot of floral images on there, kind of watercolor images by Tosha Silver. I just resonate with it. It was my first Oracle deck, I think, because I found so many of the decks a little bit old-fashioned, and this was the first sort of contemporary looking deck that I got. There's loads more coming out now, so but this was the first kind of contemporary deck that I got, and I thought, yes, I really resonate with this. I love it. And I also really love the Moonology deck. It's a very simple deck. It says, let the moon be your guide. So I love the Moonology deck as well, and again, that was one of those sort of contemporary decks. First kind of contemporary deck that I got from Hay House that I resonated with. All my decks are linked in the description box right below. If you scroll right down, you'll find them. If you ever see one on my channel that you resonate with. A lot of people ask where they can learn the tarot, where they can train, and also how they can develop their intuition. So I feel that developing your intuition, regardless of what it is you want to do with your life, or you know, if you want to work in the magical realm or whatever, but just being in touch with your intuition is so important, because it has been so sidelined in our society. You know, we've been told that the only thing that matters is like being logical, and I feel really passionately that we rely, excuse me, too much on our logical mind, and it has been to the detriment of our intuition. And so many people in the comments are saying, I can't even make this selection. I don't even know. I don't know what it is to connect with my intuition. And it makes me feel really sad. I mean, I am very intuitive. That's my nature. But it makes me feel really sad that we've come so far that we are unable to kind of listen to that. Maybe you resonate with it as intuition, maybe you resonate with it as gut instinct, but I am telling you, everybody, right, has that within them, whether or not they know it, whether or not they listen to it. You know, everybody has had that experience of going to the dental surgery or the doctor's surgery and sensing a bad atmosphere in the room. Or maybe, you know, a family event or something. You're just like, there's an atmosphere here. What is going on in this place or with these people, right? And it's because there's you're picking up on some sort of fear. It's your intuition at work, right? And we've all had those experiences of just thinking, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done that. You know, where you just think, I knew I should have gone that way, and then you hit a load of traffic and you're stuck in traffic for 2 hours and just think, I knew I should have turned off this road. I just knew it. I knew I shouldn't have said that thing and it kind of wasn't very well received, or I knew I should have done this last week, and then you've missed the opportunity. And it's that, oh, I knew, that's your intuition. So everybody has this. So it's just about listening to it, and then not the logical mind will want to get involved and just say, well, that doesn't make any sense. That will never happen. You know, why do you want to go there? Why do you want to do this? You know that that's a longer route, you know? That's your logical mind trying to get involved and overriding the intuition. So it's just listening to those nudges that we get all the time, and the more we do that and the more we follow them, the stronger it gets. It's just like exercising a muscle, the stronger it gets. And also a connection with your inner self is very important, to be able to sit quietly with yourself, you know, without 21st century distractions, without all that noise of the outside world, and be centered in yourself through journaling, through meditation, through quiet time, through sitting in nature and just observing, will put you in touch with that quiet stillness within you, and that is the truth of who you are. So you can connect in that way within you, and that will help with your intuition. You know, people think, oh, maybe it's a lot to do with crystals or something like this. You can just listen to yourself inside, and when you connect to the truth of who you really are, then your intuition will get much stronger, all right? In terms of learning the tarot, I learned from a lady who's now retired, and I learned one-on-one with her. When you're learning the tarot, just set the intention to be guided towards your teacher. This is what I strongly recommend that you do. There are some good online courses which you can search for. I recommend reading all the books. There are really good basic books and deeper books as well, which are all available on Amazon. And I think I've got some linked in my description box as well. that I really like, that I recommend, just to get that basic framework, because it can be very confusing to start with, but you can get that basic framework of the tarot and learn the meanings and the symbols within the tarot, and use that as your starting point. But after that, I wouldn't make it too formulaic or too rigid. I prefer a more organic approach of being able to use that as your starting point and then use your intuition from there. That is what I would recommend. But yeah, there are lots of online courses. There are courses where you can learn in groups online. If you're lucky, you may be able to find a teacher, you can Google it, who teaches tarot, and you can learn one-on-one. I hope to teach people the tarot one-on-one in the future. It's not something that's going to be imminent, but I know it is my destiny to work with people one-on-one, and that is something that I will do in the future. But yeah, if you can get that one-on-one or small group practice, either in person or online, that will benefit you so much. If you've got someone to ask questions and reflect back at you, that will really help you. But start by reading a lot, making your own notes about that's what I used to do. I've got a whole folder of when I was reading stuff, and then I would make notes as I went along as to kind of what was really resonating with me and what stuck out for me. And also listening to podcasts. There's a lot of kind of magical podcasts now about intuition and tarot and astrology and things like this, and they are really valuable resources, so you may want to check those out as well. A lot of people want to know how my gifts manifest for me, how I experience them. I didn't realize until I had my spiritual awakening that I wasn't experiencing life in the same way as other people. I was like, oh, I'm a little bit different. I'm coming at this at a slightly different angle to people, which is beautiful. I think it's beautiful that we have this tapestry of people and everybody's got their own strengths and stuff like this, but I didn't know myself well enough, and it's actually quite sad, that I wasn't authentic enough, that I didn't understand myself. I didn't have that conscious awareness. I talk about this a lot in my readings, about conscious awareness and that expansion in awareness. So I didn't understand my own frequency. So I feel other people's feelings really strongly. When I'm with them, I can feel, in a way that other people aren't really aware of. I can feel if they're afraid, even if they're like acting really confident. I can be like, okay, this person's overcompensating because of this, or this person's jealous of that person, or and I get all these little messages as well when I'm with people. I'm like, oh, that person's having an affair, or this person is like this. So I get all these little messages. So I'm like predominantly clairsentient in that I can pick up on energies of different places. So I find it quite difficult to go to people's homes because I can sense the frequency. Like if someone's got a really lovely home filled with love, then I feel really buoyant, and if the vibration is low, it makes me very ill. I start to get really tired and like a feeling of exhaustion, and I just absorb like a little sponge the energy. And that's of all places. There are places to me that feel high vibrational and places that are low vibrational. So I find it difficult to be in cities, because obviously nature is more high vibrational because it's natural, and cities are a struggle for me. And there's a lot going on energetically in a city where things are high density, and I find it too overwhelming. I am a highly sensitive person, a HSP, and I find it too overwhelming. So I feel personally that I need a bit of space around me. So I am clairaudient as well. So, I hear messages, and then clairvoyant in the fact that I don't really see the future visually, but I do, when I'm connecting to somebody's energy or I'm doing a reading, I do have visions which show me the energy in like a pictorial form, in the form of a picture. So I might see a stormy sea, or a key, or a tangled ball of yarn or you know, roots of a tree, something like this. I don't know, whatever it is, you know, that we're talking about, and then I'll get a visual image in my mind, and that's how it expresses for me. So, but I feel much happier now at this stage in my life, you know, that I've been able to connect with this and share this with so many amazing people, and that it has helped and benefited other people, you know, that it isn't like a useless thing, you know, it is useful and it is beneficial to many people. And just being able to connect to the world in a more energetic way. You know, we are taught that there is the 3D world, and that all there is what we can see with our eyes and what we can pick up on with our 5 senses, and it just isn't the case. Everything is energetic, and we attract into our lives what we resonate with, right? So you know, we don't get what we want in this life, we get what we resonate with. So, you know, what our frequency is, which is why I'm so passionate about kind of raising my own vibration and helping other people to raise their vibrations as well. All right, this is getting quite long. It's been really super. I've loved it so much. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me. Let me know what your favorite tarot deck is. You know, let me know how if you're still with me at the end of this video, you know, how you are developing your intuition or your own intuitive gifts. You know, tell me about your own journey. I'd love to connect with you there. I'll definitely get onto those comments and write back to you. But have a lovely week. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'm sending you lots of love, and I look forward to seeing you again soon here on Lumiere. Take care now. Bye bye.